The goal. Plan. Tunnel A, Scorched Enclave, Tunnel B, Mech Trenches, continued. Quests, life support, hack the servers, pick on Pyro again, and help the water thief again. Loadout. Pretty much the same as last time, but I'm opting for the Chris Vector. Anyways, let's get to it. Alright, so back in the tunnels. Part 2. Hopefully, I can actually find the mech trenches when I get to Tunnel B again, because, yeah, that wasn't ideal. Alright, so last time I went through here, I just want to check something, like whether this is just a loop. Yeah, it is a loop, I'm pretty sure. So it didn't really matter which way I turned there. Fair enough. Not sure how I want to. Gonna let these guys fight it out amongst themselves. So we get some distance before that. Just because I know they have shotguns. And shotguns hurt. Well, that was simple enough. Wasn't sure if I had something or not. Unfortunately, I don't have the extra levels in carry capacity again, so I'm probably going to be a bit more selective than I normally like to be. Yeah, the other problem is that I can't put the pack mule rig on the Shaman, which kind of puts the Shaman into that awkward position of, if I am to do longer runs, I'm going to have to be selective the whole way through, but because I'm, you know, more or less just focused on leveling the Shaman up currently, I can just, you know, focus on these shorter runs that should net me more overall supplies. Still trying to work on the shooting range. I got a little bit more to work with from part 1, but yeah, just there's a lot of randomness, and it's the dealing with the randomness that I'm not 100% sure on anymore. Because whilst I'm happy to, you know, keep using the Shaman, if he ultimately feels like he's more tailored to these shorter runs, where, you know, I'm going to be pretty much stuck just focusing on sticking to, say, construction components and computer components, it's going to be tricky to really, like, nail down just how long or just how deep into the tunnels I can go with the Shaman. Another potential problem, because I tend to avoid the Ashen Mesa, the videos probably stand to run a risk of being a bit repetitive, which is why I've been focusing more on to figure out how I can go down from there. Because I can do a lot with the editing, but it's going to be interesting because my options are one of two. Either I go for this, like, I either go for the really long form content, or I'm going to have to go with the, like, hyper edits that I've been posting up lately. While I could probably do a bit of both, I still want to work on Project Depth Gauge, where Project Depth Gauge, the second part of it, will probably be the longest. As I said in a previous video, its whole, well, number 2 will essentially just focus around, excuse me, a general threat assessment for every enemy across the board. Indigestion. I only ate dinner not that long ago. Alright, cool. Nothing that interesting. So yeah, the only thing I've been struggling with is how I want to format that video. Under ideal circumstances, I would opt to probably have like a little bit of video for each individual enemy, or the specific enemies that I want to cover, where I can do that to a certain degree. It's going to be tricky to, say, do that for every single enemy across the board. For example, grabbers, it wouldn't be too hard to deal with, as far as, collecting footage is concerned. Mechs, similar story, but say, like, these infantry patrols, because there's so many and they're so varied, it's going to be tough to really nail down what I'm looking for. I know I just saw something in here. What am I looking at? Oh yeah. A Ruskin patrol? Once again, this could be one of those moments where I want to bait them towards me. Advantage currently. Yeah, like as for formatting, part 2 for Project Depth Gauge, it's gonna be tricky. Well, it's probably going to take a bit longer to come out than I initially thought it would. Hoping for IFFs while I'm just poking through their gear. So I can't give an exact date on when Project Depth Gauge Part 2 will come out. It'll be definitely like a work in progress style of video. That's pretty much why I had to leave the work in progress stuck on that first wall of text. So I came in through there. Dead end. Well, this was weird. So, like, I'm still heavily in the the experimental side of video editing. I'm gonna keep trying different combinations of
A couple dozen more.
say like long form content and then like supercuts. Just to see, you know, which style of content people tend to stick around and actually watch. Like that last video that was, you know, supercuts with, you know, a hefty dose of, I don't know how to phrase it. You know, like some foreshadowing, some like little teaser bits. But like that was a long run with, you know, plenty of, you know, content for me to work through. Whereas because I tend to stick to these, also like I'm trying to commit to the shorter runs overall. It's almost purely RNG based as to whether, you know, I'll be able to get, you know, the real crazy content or not. I'm just trying to have a think here because I can see stuff. I just want to know how I'm supposed to get to it. Plenty of those. I'm going to try and just stick to the advanced ones now. Specific weapon mods. Yeah, just where was it? Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to get through this wall on the other side. Like whether there's a room over there, or you know, whether I'm missing something. You know, which is kind of why I'm always looking at the like overall terrain on the off chance there's like some secret pass through that I haven't, you know, caught on to yet. I'd like to do like more like squad-based content, especially, you know, being able to bring, you know, anywhere between say 2 to 4 different people into the tunnels. Just, you know, just to see how crazy it can get. Look like a grenade launcher, which is why I didn't want to miss it. Called it. Okay, so dead end came in through there. That just leaves me this. Okay, so not this way either. Do I have any other options? Yes, yes I do. Almost missed that. Alright, Please be the extract that I need. Oh, god damn it, here we go again. Well, screw it. Pretty sure it was something similar to this last time that caught me out, so I'm going to take it a little bit slower. So I need to get under that pipe. And then hopefully that's the right extract. Well, dead end. Fair enough. Well, shit. Okay, we're going back. Luckily I'm not in too deep. Still trying to get a bit of a handle on how the spawns work. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I go back into this room, whether that same infantry patrol is up for the third time. Yep, called it. Well, that missed completely. Else? No? Cool. Alright, so back we go. Make sure I have good anything there. Yep, good. Okay, so what options do I have left? Cool. More options. Shaman got jumps. Now where am I at? Ah, elevator. Just gonna use one of these. Take a chance to try my hands off. And see where we go from here. If there's anything of use, I was just curious. No. Cool.
Enemy contact. Not sure where. Incoming.
Okay. But yeah, definitely bring in the pneumatic jump from this point forward. I was gonna say there's no way they can climb up here, right? Yep, sweet. Nothing? Cool. There he is. Gonna open with the grenade launcher this time? Huh. Well, that worked a treat. Probably a little too well, it brought everything onto me. Well, I'm just going to assume he makes it through all that. It's interesting that they don't really see the water thief as a threat. So, Tunnel B. What's on the menu today?
A couple dozen more in the ground. It will make a difference.
Cool. Dead end. Looks like it's a one-way trip sort of thing. Back to looting. Grab those grenades. Just because the amount of times the grenade launchers come in clutch since I started incorporating it into my general gameplay, it's been like, just like, wow. I don't want to overuse it, if that makes sense. But because like ACP ammo, or 45, isn't that regular, like it tends to be one of the rarer ammo types, which is why I tend to be a bit hesitant on bringing the Crisp Vector with me. So that I don't like using the weapon, because I definitely do. What the? What is this? Well, okay then. It's been a while since I've seen the clumped up lootables. Nice. Another thing worth mentioning is Scav Girl. For whatever reason, she tends to get a lot of views. Like, arguably one of the better looking scavs overall, which probably is a contributing factor. Plus, she is among the lowest levels. It's like a combination of low level runs and Scav Girl pretty much makes for an awesome combination, but therein lies the problem, because it's only going to be, you know, she's only going to be a low-level Scav for so long. So it's tricky, because I'd like to, you know, think of a way. I don't want to say like just keep you at a low level, because that seems, you know, fundamentally flawed. But it's one of those where, depending on what sort of requests I end up getting, it might actually be worth, say, keeping at least one scav at like a super low level. Okay, so yeah, this is awkward. Very awkward.
Do not allow yourself to be surrounded.
Let's think. Current thought process: bait them in with the decoy grenade, and then go to town. That's 2. 3. One more for good luck.
They have arrived.
Okay. Okay, that one's just being odd. Fair enough. So we're not going down there. No lootables up here. Water and explosives. I mentioned it a few videos ago where I'm tempted to do a run that I'm essentially going to call the Run from Hell, where I keep Gunhead at level 1 prestige and just see how far I can get. Not expecting an overwhelming amount of success, but it would be legitimately the hardest possible challenge I could think of doing outside of, say, that exact same thing, but also, say, only use like the surplus weapons. But, you know, that'd just be, you know, who knows, depending on how that specific run goes when I finally get to it. I might even go, you know, the Run from Hell Mark II. Because, like, you know, the beautiful thing about Gunhead is that he can't use stims. So, or he can't heal himself outside of, you know, transitioning from, say, from what I understand, he heals himself per map area visited. So, say, Tunnel A to, you know, the Scorched Enclave, he'll get a heal, he'll get topped up from that. And, you know, every area visited past that point, he will, you know, get heals. But that's it. That's his only method of healing.
Too many footsteps.
Alright, that's 3. If there's any more, no secret turrets. Not good. Options. Options. Because the unfortunate byproduct is if I don't find the right exit, I'm gonna have to come back through here and then more or less do what I just did then all over again. Not a bad thing. Ah, fire. Just, yeah. There's a lot of backtracking I'm noticing. It's hard to pick the right path every single time. Like, I imagine as I get, you know, more experienced with, you know, figuring my way around, that should become less and less of an obstacle. But because the idea behind the tunnels is that they are procedurally generated, there's no guarantee that the procedural generation doesn't get more convoluted as time goes on. So, yeah. I imagine, because it's still in development, they're probably going to be fairly picky with how they want to do things. I was paying attention to, I think it was one of the developer blog posts. Basically one of the longer Q&A sessions, and someone brought up more or less what we're experiencing now with the tunnels. Okay, what am I looking at here? Where people were talking about the animation or the manga Blame, or Blam if you know. And one of the big things about Blam is that it's like this massive sprawling, you know, like mega city. You know, like 6,000 floors deep. Couldn't tell you how many, you know, hundreds of or thousands of kilometers wide. It's just, it's huge. And, you know, poor Kiri, man. You know, you want to talk about a lonely existence, that would be the Blam universe. Where'd it go? See, I want to go take a look at that, but I know I have to do a platformer to get there, so I'm going to save that for a minute. And judging off its construction, that's probably going to be the Elephant Mausoleum exit. Is this going to be a wall of death? Yes. Damn near full already. And for obvious reasons, I'm not grabbing that extra ammo because that will more or less fill up the last of my inventory space. Okie dokie. So the next bit is getting down onto this pipe, hopefully without dying, and figuring out where to go from there. so I can get a running start. Ah, goddamn Steam. Where is this gonna bring me up? Holy crap! We found it! Let's go! In the usual style, I made it to the mech trenches just for everything to go to shit. One moment. Oh, shit. Don't need to time this right. Come on, get off me. Not sure why my heal didn't apply here. I was pretty much spamming the button, but anyways. Unlucky. Come on, would you heal? Wow, man. Just to have gotten so far. Alright, so handing in quests. Just so I can get the maximum experience possible. Yeah, there's another 5k and another 5k. Gonna level up a little bit and then get some contemplation in. Because yeah, my thought process currently is I didn't have a good answer for those cyborgs, especially once they started swarming. It's like, would I have been better off going aggressive? Or would I have been better off, you know, going the long way around? Anyways, you know, food for thought for later. I'm just going to quickly check on drones. If I can get a fast travel drone, I will fast travel back. If not, I will go for a recovery drone to get my tombstone back and then contemplate from there. No, I cannot get a fast travel drone, so I'll be grabbing a recovery drone to collect my tombstone. Okay, we're going into the negative. Here's me retrieving my tombstone. And yeah, like I said in the first video, this might legitimately be a 3-parter. Anyways, that's all from me for now. I hope you have a good day.